Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you all please rise for the singing of our national anthem as presented by Mr. Larry Smith, and remain standing for the invocation given by the Reverend George Detweiler.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let us pray. O God, you alone are the truth, and from you the fire of truth and excellence burns brightly as it did before your servant Moses. We thank you for those honored tonight, for their confidence, their skill, their persistence in pursuing the goal of excellence. We who honor them do so with humility. We are in awe of their gifts, which we know come from you, as we are in awe of you. We are grateful for these people and for their opening their gifts for the benefit of the world. Give us grace to seek the truth and to know that as we glimpse it, we catch a glimpse of you, our source and our hope. Inspire us to strive in all things for the excellence that comes from you, until we arrive at the fullness of truth in you. Amen.
Honored guests, members of the Hall of Champions Association, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and pride that I welcome you this evening to our 23rd Annual Hall of Champions and Fame Induction Program on behalf of the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions Association. Our Hall of Champions Association administers both the Hall of Champions for athletic excellence while attending high school and the Hall of Fame for excellence in life pursuits after high school. We take great pride in being the first school district in this part of Pennsylvania to form such an association to honor former students. We congratulate each of tonight's inductees representing 6 of the last 7 decades for their accomplishments. Collectively and individually, their accomplishments are very impressive. Selecting, honoring, and perpetuating the names of these graduates is the exciting reward for all the hard work extended on behalf of our association's members throughout the year. Each inductee will receive this evening a handsome bronze plaque with their picture and accomplishments inscribed, and a special pin that they can wear signifying their induction into this exclusive group. In addition, to perpetuate their accomplishments in their graduation from the Norristown High School, their names will be added to the permanent plaques, which for the Hall of Champions is located in the lobby of the athletic wing, and for the Hall of Fame in the lobby of the auditorium. Pictures of tonight's inductees have been placed in the Paul Schellenberger's Memorial Showcase in the cafeteria for all students, faculty, and visitors to see and read about their accomplishments. Please take a moment tonight during the reception to look at the showcase. Two other groups will be honored tonight for their accomplishments. The first group will be the current Norristown Area High School student athletes who were selected for their athletic skills, sportsmanship, and valuable contribution to the sports program. The second group will be current Norristown Area High School honor students who currently maintain superior academic credentials. Our association is proud to recognize academic excellence as well as athletic excellence. We welcome and congratulate these students, whom you will soon meet, and salute their parents for their ongoing support and guidance. Each of these students is the future Hall Champions Hall of Fame candidate. We hope they will strive to attain the necessary credentials to enter these halls. In addition, tonight we will also be honoring the memory of a great friend of the association and a loyal friend of Norristown Area High School's sports program. So let us proceed with the program by recognizing previous inductees who are with us tonight. Ken Bowser, 1941 Hall champions. Please rise and stand to be recognized. Gene Cotter, class of 1948 Hall champions. Jim Randolph, Hall champions 1951. Dave Stagliano, Hall champions 1965. Ernie Hadrick, Hall champions 1968. D. Victor Cross, class of 1977 Hall champions. From the Hall of Fame, we have Fred Lobb, class of 1948. Dr. Donald Waddington, class of 1949. William Lessick, class of 1955. Charlie Holmes, class of 1958. Jerry Spinelli, class of 1959. Samuel Miller, class of 1960. Bonnie Taylor, class of 1962. Gus Domino, class of 1939. And I was just given two more names, but I don't have the class from the Hall champions, Bob Parker and John Bates. I did say it.
Good evening. I'm Dennis McKnight, principal of the high school. It's a great honor for me to be here tonight and have the opportunity to speak with you. When I first toured the school during the interview process prior to my appointment as principal last spring, one of the highlights pointed out to me by my guide was the Wall of Champions, Wall of Fame in our cafeteria. I was immediately impressed, particularly when I noted that one of the most recent selectees was Bill Berdelli. Bill was the first football coach I ever had the opportunity to work with after my graduation from Millersville. I know that Bill was always proud of his Norristown roots, and because of the kind of man he was, I've always had a deep appreciation for the products of the Norristown Area High School. Shortly after settling in here, Mr. Wilmer Cressman, one of the directors of the Hall of Champions Association, provided me a copy of the directory of all the Hall of Fame Hall of Champions honorees over the years. As I read the resumes of each of them, and I did read every one of them, I was even more impressed than I had been originally. Anyone who would take the time to read the accomplishments of the selectees would be similarly convinced of the quality of our graduates. It is so important that we recognize our graduates for their accomplishments. However, it is not as important for those we honor as it is for those we have yet to honor. The Wall of Fame, Wall of Champions display in our cafeteria provides a very visible record for our students of the kinds of things they can accomplish. Our honorees serve as role models in absentia because of that display. Tonight's honorees will join that select company during this evening's proceedings. Having read all of their resumes, I can see how deserving each and every one of them is. However, I am disappointed that I won't have the opportunity to meet our youngest selectee, Lieutenant Donna Fiddler-Poliska. As a retired Army Medical Service Corps officer myself and a former ambulance platoon leader, a position she currently holds, I was looking forward to swapping stories about our common experiences in different eras at Fort Sam Houston and Fort Hood. I'm going to ask her parents to make sure she stops in to see us whenever the Army allows her to travel back to Norristown. To the rest of the honorees, particularly our student honorees and the families and friends of everyone here tonight, I must apologize for not being able to stay for the entire ceremony. I must leave shortly to attend a graduate school class that started meeting about 10 minutes before we started here this evening. However, I promise I will leave promptly from there and return and hope to catch all of you before the end of this evening's proceedings. However, to the honorees, let me remind you that although you may not be here as often as I will be during the year following tonight's induction, your induction this evening and the subsequent inclusion of your resume on our wall will serve as a daily reminder to our students to become all they can be, just as you clearly have. Again, I congratulate you on the honor of your selection and thank you for representing our school so well. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Wilmer Cressman. I'm a director with the Hall of Champions Association. I want to say that I knew Lou Spinelli for many, many years, and before he passed away this past year, this spring, and we had a wonderful relationship, friendship over those many, many years. To ensure that Lou Spinelli's past dedication to Norristown sports is not forgotten, our association has created this memorial award to honor an individual each year who best typifies a sports fan's interest in Norristown area high school interscholastic athletics. We plan to choose an NAHS sports fan each year as part of our annual induction ceremony and have the selected fan's name placed on the Louis A. Spinelli Memorial Plaque. As far as we are aware, our high school now is the first one that will honor a person each year for being a devoted spectator at high school sports events. We were also the first high school to begin a program to honor our graduates, both athletic and academically. The Hall of Champions Association welcomes candidates from the Norristown area community for this annual Sports Fan Award. We are looking for people who have watched Norristown area high school sport teams over a number of years. You do not have to be a graduate of this high school to be considered for this award. You just have to be a loyal, dedicated fan. And I hope, it seems that these people are becoming less and less as time goes on, and that's a shame. But we do want to honor this group of people who are very dedicated. If you are such a sport fan or know of someone who is, please contact the Hall of Champions Association at this high school, and you will be considered, that person will be considered for future awards. At this time, I would like to call to the stage, okay, I'm sorry, we're going to have some slides.
Louis A. Spinelli, the Dean of Norristown High School fans. Everybody loves the guy. He was always happy. A smile. He was either wearing one or about to break into one. These statements best describe the most unique devoted high school sports fan the state of Pennsylvania has ever known. A 1928 winter graduate of Norristown High School, Lou accumulated more than 70 years of service to the high school through his interest in all of Norristown's athletic programs. He missed very few games, whether it be football, track, basketball, or baseball. In fact, it's been said that he missed fewer than 10 games in total among all these sports during his lifetime of cheering for the blue and white. In addition, Lou was chief scorekeeper for the boys' basketball team for many years. He never lost his temper or even displayed a temper. He would sit quietly next to the scorer's table each game, rarely saying a word until the action was over. Then he wished the coaches well, win or lose. That's the kind of guy he was. Lou was a founding member of the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions Association and worked with the association for many years. He donated his personal scrapbooks to the association, covering more than 60 years of NHS sports history. These scrapbooks have been a valuable resource in our selection process for candidates to the Hall of Champions. Sadly, Lou passed away this year at the age of 90. He surely will be missed, but not forgotten. Thanks to the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions Association, the memory of the school's #1 athletic fan will live on forever. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you take just a moment for a moment of silence in memory of Lou Spinelli. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to call to the stage Lou's two sons, Jerry and Bill, for the first presentation of this award. As they come up, I would be remiss not to mention that Jerry Spinelli was inducted into our Hall of Fame in 1985 for his authoring of children's books. And I would like at this time to recognize Lou's widow, Lorna, who is sitting in the audience. If she would please stand. Lorna has stood beside Lou for many, many years, and he always, in our conversations, mentioned what a wonderful woman she was to allow him to go to all these events. So, Lorna, would you please stand? It is an honor and a privilege for me, on behalf of the Norristown Area High School Hall Champions Association, to present this award this evening. Tonight we honor the first recipient of the Louis A. Spinelli Memorial Award, and after much deliberation, we have selected a person whom we feel emulates Lou Spinelli's love of sports. Not only has this person watched Norristown engage in interscholastic sports for almost 50 years, but coincidentally also knew Lou very well. We feel this year's recipient certainly meets the requirements for this award by being a loyal, long-time booster of high school athletics. Our recipient is also a 1948 graduate of Norristown High School. He first met Lou when he was the manager of the talented 1946-1947 boys basketball team, who were known as the Buzz Boys, and Lou was the team's official scorer. By the way, the Buzz Boys were a super basketball team that preceded the 1948 state championship team known as the Timber Toppers. The Buzz Boys were eliminated from the state tournament by Williamsport in an Eastern Regional game. Now it is time to meet our first recipient of this award. Will Ronald J. Bolton please come to the stage and accept your award? Ron's name is engraved on the plaque for posterity, and the plaque will be hung in the athletic wing lobby of the high school for all who attend athletic events to see. Here he comes. Why don't you step out here and let you two fellas hold this plaque? Come around here. I also have a certificate for Ron to take home with him, and I'm going to present that now.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations. I want to take your picture, so why don't you just step out? Thank you very much. He came close to Lou. Lou did it for over 70 years. Ron's working on his 50s, so he's not too far behind. But I don't think we'll ever find anybody as dedicated and loyal as Lou Spinelli was. He was a grand man. Thank you very much. You want this? I'm gonna give that to you. That's it for us.
Good evening. My name is Joe Fabrizio. I'm the athletic director here at Norristown High School. I would like to tonight congratulate the Hall of Fame and Hall of Champion inductees. This is great for me because I know in the Hall of Champions at least 4 of the people that are going in. So this was really good for me because I saw some people that I had many, many years ago when I was teaching. Tonight, I am here to present some certificates to the present members of our high school, the student athletes. This is quite a group. These people have achieved not only on the field, on the court, and in the classroom. They've done an outstanding job. We do this every year, and every year the list keeps growing of potential candidates. So I'd like to call up first Jason Every from our 10th grade class. Jason was a member of our JV soccer team this year, our baseball team. Some of his personal accomplishments is he has straight A's, perfect attendance, and he was nominated for the National Honor Society, and he described himself as hardworking, honest, and responsible. Jason, congratulations. Another member of our 10th grade class is Ryan Jablonski. Ryan was a member of our wrestling team and our cross-country team. As a varsity wrestler, Jason last year as our 103-pounder went all the way to the regional tournament that we have here. Some of his personal achievements, he was on the honor roll every time since first grade. He was nominated for the National Honor Society, and he describes himself as a hard worker, comical, sensitive, and competitive. Ryan, congratulations. Our next sophomore inductee is Steve Natale. Steve was a member of our JV soccer team this year, and he played baseball last year. He is proud of his high GPA in the humanities program, and he was selected this year as a member of the National Honor Society. He describes himself as charismatic, fun-loving, and different. Congratulations, Steve. Our junior class, this year was the second year we selected this young lady, and she just keeps getting better, and that's Marissa Armbrust. Marissa is a member of our junior class. She is a member of the field hockey team. She has achieved all of her grades, she says, through hard work and balances good grades with her athletic achievements. She is proud of her high GPA and getting the German 2 award last year for being the highest grade in German. She describes herself as outgoing, athletic, and fun to be with. Marissa, congratulations. You wrote it. Okay. Next member of our junior class is Mary Beth Fazzini. who is a member of our field hockey and lacrosse teams. She's also proud of her high GPA, and I won't tell you what it is because they like to keep that a secret, but believe me, it's very high. She's a member of the National Honor Society. She won DAR award statewide when she was in 6th grade, and she describes herself as energetic, hardworking, and friendly. And she's also one of the 3 girls who used to travel around with our wrestling team last year. Never missed a home or away wrestling match. I don't know why she likes wrestling, but she has a reason. Next, we have Daryl Griffin Simmons. I don't think Daryl's here today. Is Daryl here? Oh, okay. He did come. Good. Okay, he's a member of our cross-country and track team, and this is the 2nd year that he was selected as one of our scholar athletes. He is a member of the National Honor Society. He's been on the honor roll every marking period here at the high school. His main concern is the environment, and he describes himself as thoughtful, independent, and helpful. Congratulations, Daryl. Glad you can make it. They told me you weren't here. I was out of town. In our senior class, we have Andrew Bradstreet. Andrew is a member of our soccer and our golf team. He was on soccer for 3 years and 2 years on the golf team. He was a member of the district choir. He was an outstanding celloist. He ranked 7th out of 13 in the regional orchestra. It's an outstanding blend of not only music and athletics, but this guy, you don't see it now, but for, I guess, the last 6 to 8 weeks, he's been playing soccer with his arm in a cast and playing in the school band, correct? And he describes himself as as an athlete that blends his ability with music successfully. Andrew, congratulations. Next, we have Sarah Clementi, who was a member of our field hockey and lacrosse team. She was a goalie on our field hockey team. She was also captain this year. She's been a member of the lacrosse team. She was a member of our National Honor Society for 3 years. She describes herself as her most important accomplishment is getting her driver's license. She says she's energetic, outgoing, and spirited, and I contest. She is very spirited. Last but certainly not least is Christina Freeman. Christina is a member of our field hockey team. She was all-league first team this year in field hockey, and she was also one of our senior captains. She's a member of Student Council. She's been a member of National Honor Society, yes. She's a Girl Scout, and she volunteers her time teaching music in her church. Christina, congratulations. Thank you.
Our first inductee into the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions is Ronald T. Coder, class of 1946. He liked to reach for the heights and did so with his outstanding pole vaulting for the Norristown High School track team. In his senior year, Ron captured the District 1 pole vault championship with a vault of 12 feet, and shortly thereafter, followed up by winning the PIAA State Championship pole vault event at Penn State with a vault of 11 feet 6 inches. As a member of the swimming team, Ron swam backstroke, and his team tied for first place in the District 1 finals held at the University of Pennsylvania pool. Continuing his athletic accomplishments at NHS, Ron also was a member of the school's cross-country team. During his 3 years at Norristown, Ron served as both vice president and president of his homeroom, was president of the Vocational Society, played clarinet in the band, and to round off his high school career, he was selected by his fellow students as one of 8 outstanding seniors in the class of 1946. Following high school graduation, Ron Coder studied at Kutztown State College and graduated from Penn State College in 1951. He received an advanced management degree in 1967 from George Washington University. While at Penn State, Ron played on 2 national championship soccer teams as goalkeeper. He was named to the NCAA All-American Soccer Team in 1950 and played on the U.S. team in the Melbourne Olympics in 1956. In 1951, Ron toured Iran with the Penn State soccer team. Ron was also intramural boxing champion at Penn State at 175 pounds and the heavyweight champion in 1949. In 1954, while a member of the military, Ron played first base for the Georgia State Championship softball team and was named to the first team All-Southeastern United States team that year. He served in the United States Air Force from 1951 to 1974, attaining the rank of lieutenant colonel. He flew 33 combat missions and had 311 combat hours in Vietnam. 7 years ago, our Hall of Champions inductee retired as Manager of Finance and Human Resources for the Pennsylvania Dairy Herd Improvement Association, headquartered in University Park. He joins his brother Gene, class of 1948, in the Hall of Champions. Gene was inducted in 1984 for his accomplishments at NHS in football, basketball, and tennis. Ron resides with his wife Hope in State College, and they are the parents of 3 sons. Congratulations, Ron, and welcome to the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions.
Good evening. It's good to see you all here. For you student athletes, I'm going to put in a bid right now for Penn State. You're the kind of young people we're looking for up there. It's a great honor, of course, to be inducted to the Hall of Champions. I have many fond memories of Norristown High School. I went to the old high school, which is now your junior high, I understand. In 1946, we had a fairly new school then. Now you have a new school here, sort of. I understand this has been here for a while too. When we started out as kids, coming up through grade school and junior high, we were learning different things. When we got to high school, our teachers, our coaches, our administrators started to mold us into something we would become greater after high school. Many of us who are in this hall started out that way, with teachers molding us, encouraging us, kicking us in the butt every once in a while. So I want to thank those teachers that had such an influence on me. I still remember some of them clearly. Mr. Lewis was our track coach. Emma Christian was our principal. I didn't see too much of her, thank goodness. But Mr. Henry was electric shop, and Mr. Landis was our physics teacher and swimming coach. And Miss Bright, she always thought I was one of her special students. I don't know why, but she taught me a lot of English Lit. And then there was Mr. Schuler. I talked to a teacher today who knew Mr. Schuler, and he was one of my favorites. Then there was Mr. Rothermill. I didn't have any classes with him, but he had a lovely daughter. I want to thank my family and friends who are sitting in my cheering section over here on the side. Some people I didn't expect to be here are here. I want to pay special thanks not only to my teachers, but to Dr. Don Waddington. If it was not for him, I would not be here. We attend the same church back in State College, and one day he said, "Ron, you need to apply for the Hall of Fame, Hall of Champions at Norristown High." He brought me an application, I filled it out, and here I am. I want to congratulate my fellow inductees tonight. It's a great honor for them also, and for the whole high school and the committee, the school board, all those people who make this happen, and I think it's a great idea.
Gregory Bates, class of 1975. He played 3 sports at NAHS and excelled in all 3, receiving 9 varsity letters during his career, 3 each in track, basketball, and football. In 1974, Gregory won the Suburban 1 High Jump Championship with a jump of 6 feet 7 1/2 inches. He also placed 5th in the PIAA state title meet a few weeks later. Greg led his track team to an undefeated season in 1973, taking the Suburban 1 title in both 73 and 74. He tied in the District 1 track meet with a record jump of 6 feet 8 1/2 inches in 1973. He was the first high school sophomore in Pennsylvania to high jump as high as 6 feet 8 1/2 inches. And he was presented the National Varsity Club Award. In basketball, Greg averaged 12.1 points and 8.3 rebounds per game during his 3-year career. In 1975, he was a key member of the Suburban 1 League Championship team, which advanced to the state playoffs. In football, our Hall of Champions honoree played receiver and running back on offense and linebacker and end on defense. He averaged 47 yards per catch and 6.7 yards per rush when he had the ball. He played in the 1975 Montgomery County All-Star Game, which at that time was played for the benefit of the Child Development Center. While a student at NAHS, Greg was a member of DECA for 3 years. He has served as assistant coach of the boys basketball team at Kennedy Kenrick High School in Norristown, and has also coached Little League baseball and football teams in Norristown. Currently, Gregory is a forensic security employee at the Norristown State Hospital and is married to the former Kay Jones, a 1974 NAHS graduate. They reside in Norristown with their daughter and 3 sons. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gregory Bates to the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Announcer, for that fine, wonderful slide presentation. As you can see by some of the slides, family is very important to me. With that said, I want to say something to my brother Johnny, who is also a Hall of Champion inductee here. As I was quoted in the newspaper earlier this week, there's no greater joy for me in high school than playing ball with you, Johnny, our years at high school. Now that may sound a little strange in light of my personal accomplishments that I've had other than that, but that's where family comes in at. Growing up together, John and I did a lot of things, but then when we got to the high school, we played on the stage of basketball. We made a lot of things happen back then. Thank you for those memories, my brother, a.k.a. Silk. Thank you. To my oldest son, Greg Jr., who's taking college classes at this time, you've been given a very special gift, and that's the head on your shoulders, Junior. Don't waste it. That gift will take you anywhere you want to go. I have two twin boys who are in this school now. They have a very tremendous amount of talent, and I'm speaking to them because we speak every day at home about this same thing, not wasting the gift that you've been given. And I want them to know that it's right in front of you. Just reach for it. At this point, I want to acknowledge a few other people who are important in my life. My daughter, Alicia, who is my oldest, and her boyfriend, Tate, who's here. My 4 grandchildren, Marisha, little Tate, Miaja, who we call Mimi, and little Matt, who's not here tonight. My best friend, Johnny G, my cousins, Clarence, Jerome, always been behind me. Thank you, guys. They don't allow enough time for me to speak to everybody out there, but you all know that I love you and appreciate your support all this time. A special thank you to my wife for 23 years, Kay, who made a point of telling me earlier this week that she was more of a sports fanatic than me, and that's true, you are. Because there have been times when we followed our boys in whatever sporting events they've been in, and she's gotten out of hand and crazy, following her kids all over the place. And me and my boys would look over at her and say, she's not with us. Who is this lady? But that's part of her gift. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous up here, but... Okay, after the night, okay. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the Hall of Champions Committee for selecting me as one of their champions. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Tammy Williams Gregory, class of 1980, an individual who excelled in running and who to this day continues her love of putting one foot in front of the other in fast fashion. Captain of the track team for 3 years, from 1977 to 1980, Tammy was also captain of the indoor track team for those same 3 years. She was a member of the 1-mile relay team that won the Suburban One League Championship in 1979 and 1980. And in her senior year, Tammy was a member of the high school's 2-mile relay team that placed second in the PIAA state championship meet. In addition to her track exploits, our honoree was also a member of the high school's cross-country team, and just last year, Tammy ran in the New York Marathon. While at Norristown Area High School, Tammy was a member of the National Honor Society, the N Club, the Afro-American Club, Student Congress, and the Gifted Student Program. In 1979, she won the local Essence of Ebony contest. Following graduation, Tammy received her degree in microbiology from the University of Alabama in 1984, and 4 years later received her Doctor of Medicine from the University of Virginia. Presently, Tammy is a physician with the Mid-Carolina OBGYN in Raleigh, North Carolina. She is a member of both the American and National Medical Associations. She resides in Cary, North Carolina with her son. And it's our great pleasure to welcome you, Tammy, into the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions.
Good evening. This is truly an honor to be back here at the high school this evening. I bet it's been at least 15 years since I've been back to the high school here at Norristown. And this is, definitely a wonderful event for me. This whole process has given me time to just reflect back over my life, over my athletic career, over my academic career. And thinking back to where it all began when Coach Theodore Ellis took a group of skinny little girls out of the alley and started our first little track team. I think at that time we were called the Greater Norristown Area Youth Club, and our T-shirts used to only have the initials on it because it had too many words to actually put the whole name on a T-shirt. And everybody, we would step on the track, and we were a bad group of girls. We thought we could outrun anybody that got on the track with us, but they never knew what our name was, and they just used to call us Ganack because that's what the letters spelled out. And from there, I went on to my athletic career here at the high school, where Coach Mellish and Coach Dolores Jordan helped guide us through the years of cross country and outdoor and indoor track and field. And that athletic career early in my lifetime gave me the self-discipline and self-confidence to go on and not only further my athletic career, but to further my academic career. And from here, I went on to the University of Alabama on a 4-year track and field scholarship and majored in microbiology there. My parents and friends and everyone helped me through those years. I can remember calling home about halfway through my college career, and I told my dad I was thinking about going to medical school, and I know he just sort of bowed his head and shook his head, and I think the next word he said was, "Well, who's going to pay for it?" And I can remember my mom probably saying something like, "Oh, here we go again." But they were there, as usual, through all the shin splints and pulled muscles and nervous stomachs. They were there for my support through both high school and then on through college. And they were even there to support me through medical school and on through residency. And finally finishing my medical career, I was able to go out into private practice, and everybody breathed a big sigh of relief, thinking, this is it. Finally, she can settle down. But that little runner in me just wouldn't go away, so I decided at that point to create new challenges for myself. And although my academic career took me away from athletics for a few years, that little runner was still in me, and I decided I wanted to run a marathon. And I think my dad did the same thing, just shook his head. And my mom looked at me and said, "Who in their right mind wants to run 26 miles?" But as usual, they supported me on through not only one marathon, but through 3 marathons. And Now I think you can rest. I think I'm done. The thought of running another marathon is just a little too painful to think about doing it again. And after this wonderful event here this evening, I know that all those laps I ran around Roosevelt Field and the miles and miles we ran around the grounds here at Norristown High, they weren't in vain. Somebody noticed, and now it will forever be remembered. Thank you very much.
Clayton R. Smith, class of 1990. He knew the importance of caring for his feet while an athlete at Norristown, and now he's taken that interest to the next level. His athletic accomplishments at Norristown Area High School include being selected first team cross-country Suburban 1 League all 4 years of high school. In his senior year, Clayton was picked for the first team PIAA All-State team, and he represented Pennsylvania on the national All-State team. In his junior year on the cross-country team, Clayton won the Suburban 1 League title. As a member of the school's track team, our honoree was selected first team Suburban 1 League all 4 years and was a state medalist 3 years in various events. He ran in the Penn Relays his junior and senior years. While at NAHS, Clayton was treasurer of the National Honor Society and was the high school representative to the annual Montgomery County Triangle Club dinner in 1990. Following graduation, Clayton received his degree in biology from Shippensburg University in 1994 and his doctorate from the Temple University School of Podiatry Medicine in 1998. While studying at Temple, Clayton was a member of the Eastern College cross-country team, which finished second at the Division II finals in 1998. He also won the Eastern College Athletic Conference 1,500-meter indoor race in 1998. Presently, a resident physician for the Temple University Health Systems in Philadelphia, Clayton has performed a research project on a major running shoe company's new line of running shoes. He has also assisted with the Norristown Area High School running program. Clayton resides in East Norriton Township, and it's our pleasure to welcome him to the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions. See the way he ran up those steps?
You'll have to excuse me if I seem a little nervous. You see, I'm a podiatrist, or a foot doctor. All day I look at feet, and right now all I'm seeing are faces, so bear with me. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who worked so hard to put this together and make this evening such a special night. I'm truly honored to be receiving this award and have been looking forward to coming back to my old high school for quite some time now. Thank you to my parents for all the times that you drove an hour and a half to watch a 4-hour track meet to see me run a 5-minute race. That's one of them. Thank you to my friends and teammates who made the practices, the competition, and even the bus rides that much more fun. One special thank you to my coach, my high school coach, Ernie Hadrick, and I know he's here. I met Ernie, I guess, in my 7th grade year. Every year there's a middle school track meet between Stewart, Eisenhower, and East Norton middle schools. I guess it's for bragging rights for the year, see how well each middle school does. Well, it was my first competitive race ever, and I ran the mile. I must have done pretty well, because a few days later, I get a phone call. Ernie Hadrick, the head coach of the Norristown Track Club. By the time I hung up that phone, I was a bona fide, tried and true member of the Norristown Track Club Killdeers. And to this day, I still don't know what a killdeer is. Let me see. And then on. It's funny because when I started running with the Norristown Track Club, Ernie was a young guy, energetic coach. He ran with us occasionally, had a full head of hair. By the time I graduated, his back hurt, his knees were gone, and what was left of the hair was going gray. I see him out there now. Looking back at the memories from the athletic career from my high school, it's easy to remember the medals or first team, all-state, or all-league. But what I really remember are those times when things didn't go just right. I can remember the state meet my senior year cross country. Mr. Hadrick and I were there. We were at the meet. Unfortunately, my uniform was back in Norristown. So we scrounged around and we found a Lehigh University brown and yellow singlet and shorts that I ran in. And once the gun went off, even my own mother couldn't cheer for me going by because she didn't recognize me. Another thing that comes to mind, at the Wood, Archbishop Wood Cross Country Invitational, I was leading this race by pretty sizable lead, I think. And next thing you know, I take a wrong turn. I end up lost in the woods, and it took a mountain biker who I ran into to point me back to get me in the right direction. And I still hear about that one from some friends. I'm really honored to be receiving this award. Norristown has given me a lot of opportunities, and it's given me a lot of memories. And I only hope that I can give back, close to what I received. Thank you very much.
Donna M. Fiddler-Poliska, class of 1995. She served her school well both academically and athletically, and she continues to this day to serve her country. Outstanding in both cross-country and track, Donna probably won more and placed higher in more races than any Norristown High athlete that came before her. Donna just liked to run and run and run. In cross country, our honoree won the PIAA District 1 Championship in 1994 with a time of 18 minutes and 18 seconds. She won the Suburban 1 League title all 4 years and was District 1 champion twice. She placed 7th or better in the PIAA state championship meets each year. She placed 10th and 11th in 2 national meets. Donna also set course and meet records in her first place finish in the Mideast Cross Country Championships in Dayton, Ohio in 1994 with a time of 17 minutes 58 seconds on a 3-mile course. On the track team, Donna was a 5-time high school track and field All-American. She was a 2-time national champion in the 10,000-meter run, as well as a national champion in both the 5,000-meter and 2-mile runs. She finished 12th in 10,000 meters at the World Junior Track Championships in Portugal in 1994, with a time of 36 minutes, 1 second. In 1994, Donna was a state champion in the 3,000-meter run with a time of 10 minutes, 40 seconds. A year later, she broke a 9-year-old record in the same event with her time of 10 minutes, 23 seconds. At NAHS, Donna was a member of the National Honor Society. She received the Eagle's Nest Award and was presented the Hall of Champions Association Award for scholarship, athletic excellence, and service to the community. Following her high school exploits, Donna graduated from Pennsylvania State University, majoring in health science. She was a 3-time academic All-American and 5-time All-Big Ten Conference while at Penn State. She was selected Big Ten Freshman of the Year for her efforts in the indoor 3,000 and 5,000 meter runs in 1995. While at Penn State, Donna participated in the ROTC program. She was commissioned a second lieutenant this past May. She graduated from Pennsylvania State University this year while majoring in health sciences and minoring in military studies. She and her husband, Nathan Poliska, reside at Fort Sam Houston in Texas. It's our pleasure now to welcome Donna to the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions. As Dr. McKnight mentioned, Donna is unable to be with us this evening due to her military obligations. Accepting on her behalf is her father.
Donna, my wife Dee, and I would like to personally thank the Hall of Champions Association. This is an awesome award ceremony for the graduates of Norristown. I'd also like to thank all the teachers and coaches of NHS that were a great influence in Donna's life and career. We would also give a special thanks to the Norristown Track Club, especially their coaches, Miles Burrell, Linda Milligan, Herb Rhodes, Bob Deckman, Ernie Hadrick, and many others. These coaches received no pay. They had just a great love of the sport of track and a greater love for the kids. Thanks again, Hall of Champions.
I'd like to add my sincere congratulations to the inductees of the Hall of Champions and their families. It's my honor to introduce some of our outstanding students to you who are currently strong, vital members of our current school community. The first group consists of 3 outstanding sophomores who currently share the #1 spot academically. Catherine Schindler is a member of the marching band, the concert band, honors orchestra, and after working hard in the Montgomery County Youth Orchestra for 3 years, she was promoted to first violin. She's been a Girl Scout for 10 years since first grade, and Katie describes herself as a friendly, emotional, caring, intelligent, and musical person. Congratulations, Katie. You go down behind me. Brian Donahue is the next sophomore in this group of top 3. In addition to his excellent scholastic achievement, he feels that student council has been the most meaningful activity to him at Norristown Area High School because it's taught him leadership, responsibility, and the importance of school service. Brian describes himself as intelligent, likable, thoughtful, witty, and imaginative. Congratulations, Brian. Catherine Bianco is the 3rd sophomore in this group. Her proudest accomplishment is the fact that she's only gotten 3 B's in her whole life. She's currently the drum major of the Norristown Area High School Marching Eagles. Catherine describes herself as conscientious, hardworking, determined, energetic, and open-minded. Congratulations. Our next group of Norristown Area High School Outstanding Student Scholars is from the class of 2002. Fatima Sheikh is a member of the National Honor Society. She's a member of the varsity tennis team. She'd like to become a doctor and volunteers her time at the Suburban Mercy General Hospital, the American Red Cross, and the National Cancer Society. She describes herself as persevering, motivated, honest, amicable, and disciplined. Fatima is currently number 3 in the junior class. Congratulations. Rachel Hadrick is from the class of 2002. She's a member of the Honor Society, NAFAD, YES, the French Club, and peer mediation. Her proudest accomplishment is balancing her schoolwork and her other activities. Rachel volunteers in her church youth group, and singing in that choir has allowed her to travel all over the country. She describes herself as opinionated, willing, determined, outgoing, and special. And Rachel's currently ranked number 2 in the junior class. Congratulations. Matthew Erlanger is from the class of 2002. Matthew is a member of the band, the choir, the orchestra, the Wingspan, which is the newspaper, and the tennis team. His most meaningful extracurricular activity at Norristown Area High School is the marching band, because in addition to the musical aspect, this activity has instilled discipline and pride in him. Matthew describes himself as focused, responsible, determined, intense, and honest. And Matthew is currently ranked number 1 in the junior class. Congratulations. Stephanie Polkowski is from the class of 2001. Stephanie is a member of the National Honor Society, the volleyball and bowling teams, SPICE, our yearbook, and is an active member of the class of 2001. She volunteers with the toddler classes at her church and participated in the Juvenile Diabetes Walk. Stephanie describes herself as thoughtful, hardworking, responsible, and creative, who's passionate about anything she does. And Stephanie is currently ranked number 3 in the senior class. Congratulations. Colin Ashby Coleman is from the class of 2001. He's a member of the Drama Club, Stage Crew, Wingspan, National Honor Society, the Pennsylvania Math League, and the orchestra and choir, and he feels that the Drama Club has been the most meaningful activity to him. He's actually working tonight backstage. Feels that for all the work he puts into it, the rewards far outweigh it. Colin describes himself as busy, procrastinating, dedicated, passionate, and intelligent, and Colin is currently ranked number 2 in the senior class. Michael Wall is from the class of 2001, and he's the editor of our outstanding school newspaper, The Wingspan, which is a full-time job in itself. The time spent with The Wingspan has been an exceptionally valuable experience for him from a writing point of view, as well as from the computer technology he's learned. He describes himself as devoted, honest, passionate, modest, and godlike. Michael is currently ranked number 1 in the senior class. Congratulations. I'd like to take this opportunity just to thank the Norristown Area High School band in front of us, from which you have seen several of the students coming up. Thank you.
Our first inductee this evening into the Norristown Area High School Hall of Fame is J. Charles Whitman II, class of 1935, a man with printer's ink in his veins and the United States Air Force Academy in his heart. Charlie Whitman began his distinguished newspaper advertising career with the Norristown Times-Herald, when that paper was called Montgomery County's great hometown newspaper. In 1939, Mr. Whitman was appointed classified advertising manager and served in that capacity until his retirement in 1979. His newspaper career was interrupted by World War II, when he entered the Army Air Force in 1942. While serving as a bombardier on a B-25 Mitchell bomber, his plane crash-landed in Greenland in 1943. 5 days later, he and his fellow crew members were rescued by a Coast Guard ship from a snow-covered area. After 2 years in the enlisted ranks, our honoree entered the Air Corps Officer Candidate School and was commissioned a second lieutenant on May 25, 1944. He also served in the China-Burma-India campaign and was based in Calcutta. Following the war, Charlie Whitman joined the Air Force Reserve. The separate air service was organized in 1947. He advanced to the rank of captain in 1951, major in 1958, and lieutenant colonel in 1965, and full colonel in 1969, retiring from the reserves in 1974. His love of the Air Force continued with his service as Air Force Academy Liaison Officer and coordinator for southeastern Pennsylvania for many years following his military service. His long service earned him the Air Force Commendation Medal. A past president of the Triangle Club of Montgomery County, Charlie Whitman was a co-founder and past president of the still active Plymouth White Marsh Exchange Club. He is also a life member and director of the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions and former director of the Norristown Area High School Hall of Champions Association. And he served as Grand Marshal of the Loyalty Day Parades, sponsored by the Nuss O'Hara Todd Post Veterans of Foreign Wars. While a student at NHS, Mr. Whitman was student council treasurer, business manager of Spice, and homeroom president. He also attended the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. A resident of West Norriton Township with his wife, Hi, he has two sons, John C. Tripp Whitman III and Mark B. Whitman, a stepdaughter, Deborah A. McMoran, and a stepson, Scott F. Armstrong. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Charlie Whitman to the Norristown Area High School Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Turn around here.
Good evening. It's a real pleasure to be here, and I appreciate the selection that was made, and I shall continue to try to serve the community in the way I have since graduating from Norristown High. I certainly enjoyed everything here in Norristown, and I still do, and I hope that I shall be able to continue in this capacity. Thank you again.
William H. Markley, class of 1951, a man of the military who also has a sense for his community. Bill Markley completed a distinguished military career of more than 41 years when he retired in 1993 from the Pennsylvania National Guard with the high rank of Command Sergeant Major. His first taste of the military came at Pennsylvania State University with enrollment in its ROTC program. He served in the United States Army from 1960 to 1965 and continued his service in the National Guard. In 1985, Bill Markley was appointed to the rank of Command Sergeant Major and served with the 154th Tank Battalion with units in Philadelphia, York, Lebanon, and Williamsport. These units served in Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm in 1990 and 91. From 1987 to 1993, Bill served as Command Sergeant Major of one of 3 major military commands in Pennsylvania, based in Allentown. He has received the Legion of Merit, the nation's highest peacetime military award, for his outstanding military career. He also has received the U.S. Army Commendation Medal with 3 oak leaf clusters and the Pennsylvania Commendation Medal. Closer to home, Mr. Markley has served on the Methacton School Board, has been a member and president of the Montgomery County Park Board, overseeing the county's vast holdings of parkland. And he's also served as superintendent of the county's Lower Perkiomen Valley Park. While a student at Norristown High, Bill Markley was a member of the Key Club. He was also a member of the track, cross country, and basketball teams. Bill and his wife Dorothy reside in Audubon, PA, and are the parents of 3 sons. Congratulations, Bill, and welcome to the Hall of Fame.
I'm extremely impressed tonight with one thing, how young the inductees are in the Hall of Champions. They seem like youngsters compared to some of us, but they're really super people. I just was always told in public speaking, if you want to be a success, keep it short, and I will do that. I just want to say that I'm deeply honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm very honored to be a member of the class of '51. It was a great class. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for all their hard work and dedication to make this night a success. I want to thank my friends that are here tonight, my family out in the audience for all their help and support over the years. And without their dedication and support, a lot of things wouldn't have happened. I want to thank an organization called Rolling Thunder, which I'm a member. It's a veteran support group for all their help and support the veterans in the area. Special thanks to our son Christopher tonight, who cut short his vacation in Florida to join us for this occasion. And of course, very special thanks to my wife Dot. She was my classmate here in '51, a good friend for all these years, and my wife of 46 years. Thank you, Dot. The last thing I'd like to leave with some of the young people here tonight, especially my grandchildren who are out here, is a slogan the Army used for years. It was a motivational slogan. They used it in their recruiting campaigns and to motivate people, and it's be all you can be. Thank you.
Thomas W. Catanese, Jr., class of 1958, who, while working at his grandmother's flower shop in downtown Norristown, discovered a product that has to this day been a tremendous boon to the packaging industry. Starting at the Anna Catanese shop in 1958, following graduation from Norristown High School, Tom Catanese discovered a product in 1965 called shrink film, which he used to wrap gift baskets. 2 years later, Mr. Catanese started his own company, Nalco International, which is still located in the Norristown area. Nalco International sells gift wrap and shrink film throughout the international fancy food industry. Tom designs and creates gift baskets. In 1984, Tom Catanese created and designed a $1,300 gift for Steven Spielberg's movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark. He has created and designed gifts for other movies and television shows, including E.T., Dallas, Love Boat, and Falcon Crest. In 1986, Tom created and designed the world's most expensive gift basket, a Rolls-Royce convertible valued at $175,000. He has written and published a book entitled Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About the Gift Basket Business, but Were Too Busy to Ask. Some 8 years ago, Tom Catanese sponsored, created, scripted, and videotaped the history of Hello Columbus, based on the fountain and monument located in Norristown's Elmwood Park. He has received many honors and awards, including the Gold Medal Award for Excellence in Packaging, which was presented at Carnegie Hall in New York City. While a student at NHS, Tom was a member of the golf, rifle, and football teams and had taken floral design and management courses. He was a member of the Pennsylvania National Guard from 1964 to 1970, and he and his wife, Carol, reside in Plymouth Meeting and are the parents of twin sons. Congratulations, Tom, and welcome to the Norristown Area High School Hall of Fame.
Let me catch my breath. It's funny, after giving 75 seminars around the country, I'm feeling very, very emotional this evening. As I looked at the amount of work that the committee has done with the presentation and the background and all of the research that goes into it, I would assume that most of the officers of the Hall of Champions, Hall of Fames are out there. Guido, are they? Would they please stand up? Mr. Crespin and everybody, I think that these people deserve. Guido, I mean, you know, there's a tremendous amount of time that goes into this. You know, and sometimes it's sort of like an iceberg. You just don't see, we only see the top. And these people obviously do a tremendous amount of work. I thank the Universal God for getting me here. And I was thinking back to high school. My math teacher said to me, God help you. My English teacher said, only God can help you. And my speech teacher said, Tom, I really don't know if you're going to make this. You know, so with that, I then said to myself, I better pray to God to get him on my good side. So I want to thank the Universal God of energy and heaven and earth for this exciting moment. I do want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee again for honoring me, honoring my family. And the seeds, I think, of every human being are founded in family. I'm getting very emotional, I'm sorry. The foundation of my life was my family. I was a very lucky child. I had movie stars for parents. My mother reminded me of Susan Hayworth. Not bad. She had Doris Day's disposition. And for those of you who know her, she really was Mary Sunshine. My father, and I'm sure many of you in the audience know my father, he was a real piece of work, as I'm sure our relatives know. He had Danny Thomas's sense of humor and his nose. He had Donald Trump's lifestyle without his wallet. And he danced like Fred Astaire, and that's obviously why my mother fell in love with him. My grandmother played a very important role in my life. I'm going to get too emotional, so I'm going to skip over some of this. I guess in 1958, after graduation, my father said to me, "Well, you graduated. What do you want to do? You want to go to college, or would you like to work in the flower shop?" And I said, "Well," he says, "good, you can work in the flower shop because I already have one son who's college." So my training, my education, my college education was entered in at 321 DeKalb Street. And at that address, I learned what life is all about, what business is all about. I started my little business at 321 DeKalb Street. And I called it Nowco International. I remember people would say to me, "What's the big deal? What's the big deal about the international?" And I said, "One day I will do business around the world, and I will do business with famous companies." I said, "Just watch me." A lot of people didn't believe in my ability. Today I do business with Harry and David. Today I do business with Godiva and a lot of Las Vegas hotels, and it certainly makes me proud to think back to those days when people doubted me and I made the decision to make things happen. There were 5 men in my life, besides my father, obviously, who made a tremendous impact. Dr. Capone, who was noted for 3 things: telling lively stories, telling off-color stories, and pulling more teeth out of people in Norristown than any other dentist. Another uncle, Uncle Erman Giannone, who invented the shock machine in the 1930s at the University of Pennsylvania. My Uncle Chick, who was my mentor in the flower shop during those early formative years. And in the audience tonight are 2 men who don't know how influential they were with my career, but Richard Constable and Joseph Constable, who obviously should be at one time in the future nominated because these men have influenced thousands and thousands of young children. So I would like to thank Richard and Joe. One day I woke up as a young man and I said, "Why am I here?" And the answer came many years later. To make good, to do good, and to be good. We are all manufacturers. Some people make mistakes. Some people make excuses. The manufacture of good is the example that we all show to the world. Integrity, respect, honor, and trust are the ethics that I have laid down in my life, and they've been the building blocks that my family taught me. I'm proud to see that my sons in the audience are following that trail. Like my father, I took his advice, and I also wanted to marry a movie star. And I did. And my wife, Carol, who is the light of my life, is that movie star. All things are possible with God. Thank you.
Christine M. Allman, class of 1970. Earned selection to the Hall of Fame in recognition of her meteoric rise and ongoing success in the world of business. Christine presently serves as Vice President for Integration and Customer Services and Vice President of Worldwide Customer Services for the Motorola Computer Group of Motorola Incorporated, headquartered in Tempe, Arizona. She joined the company 6 years ago as Director of Worldwide Sales Operations. As Vice President of Integration and Customer Services, Christine is responsible for a division with projected revenues this year of between $15 and $20 million. As Vice President of the Worldwide Computer Services, our honoree is responsible for the service and warranty component of the computer group, which has regional offices in Toronto, Britain, Japan, and Hong Kong. From 1984 to 1994, Christine was employed by Digital Equipment Corporation, and prior to that was with Purelator Courier Corporation of Bluebell. Airborne Freight Corporation and the Hertz Corporation are also previous employers. A graduate of Muskingum College in New Concord, Ohio, Christine received a master's degree at the American Graduate School of International Management in Glendale, Arizona. At Norristown Area High School, Christine played field hockey, basketball, and tennis, was homeroom president, and a member of Class Congress. A member of Who's Who in Business, Christine was named a 1991 YWCA Woman of the Year in San Diego, California, and she now resides in Phoenix, Arizona. Congratulations, Christine, and welcome to the Norristown Area High School Hall of Fame.
Good evening. I just got to tell you that I've had the opportunity in my career to make a lot of speeches in front of heads of state and major corporations, but when you stand up here in front of people, my family, and people who have watched me grow up like the Cressmans, it's really unnerving. Thank you, Hall of Fame, for this recognition that I'm truly grateful for, but I got to tell you, this doesn't happen by accident. I've always been fortunate in having blessed with several advantages. First and foremost, I have the advantage of coming from a good family. Like Mr. Catney said, family is the essence of my foundation as well. I had great genes, great DNA put together by the Allmans and the Fichters and Lukens. And I also might add, I'm not the first Hall of Famer in the family. My great-grandfather picture sits in the Hall of Fame of basketball in Springfield, Massachusetts, and my cousin Dorothy has had several Hall of Fames to her credit, including the Hall of Champions and Lacrosse Hall of Fames in both Pennsylvania and National. But the two people that I have to thank most in my life are my mother and my sister. You gotta love Edie Allman. You know, I've had to be drawn away from the Norristown area, and I've missed a lot of birthdays, Mother's Days, and anniversaries, and it was never held against me. I was always supported by Mother and my sister to go and do the best I can. Of course, my mother figured out that for every day I missed her birthday, the value of the gift would go up. So she held that with no remorse. Mom, I'm thankful we never ever left each other's side no matter what. And while it appeared that I was the catalyst to keep everything together, I know you were always there during the tough times. And Edie Allmanisms carried me through my life. In challenging times, it was when one door shut, another door always opened. And things that carried me through my sales quotas over the many years is things such as she said, "It's not how you start the game, it's how you finish." Carol, I've often said, "You are the wind beneath my wings." And for people who in this room that did know me in high school, I wasn't very well known. Being a fashion plate, I was always dressed in a hockey tunic trying to run in and get the last thing on sale at some store to go to the prom. If it wasn't for my sister, I never ever would have had anything to wear. And while I was crying in the dressing room because nothing fit, I think she coined the original phrase, "Try it, put it on, it looks better on than it does on the hanger." So Mom and Carol, you have been ever inspiring in my career. For the rest of my family who's here tonight, my cousins, that I like to call my little cousins, Barbie, Dorothy, and Nancy, it was great to grow up in a close-knit family like that, but it's even greater to see you grow up to be good citizens of the world. To my aunts and uncles who have always been there, as a matter of fact, my uncle who's here tonight has a distinguished career in Congress in Pennsylvania who's running, and personally I would like to attest to his integrity. If anybody has any question about that, I will be at the polls. I think I'll be stationed at St. Patrick's. And the most overriding thing that I can say to my family who's here, that I really wanted you to be here, not out of obligation, because I really love and like you. I truly believe it was a reflection of my parents and my grandparents, and what great-grandparents I had. Pop-Up was always there, O-Pop always let me support, and the two biggest heroes in my life, my grandmothers, my beautiful Oma, and my beloved Mom. I know they're there watching, and I've enjoyed their support, even though they're not here. Now, if the family is the essence of my foundation, then my friends have been the essence of my soul. My support through the years of my friends has been extraordinary. Started in 5th grade when I had a new school, and Sweetie Davis greeted me, befriended me, and we've been friends ever since. It's people like Jean Ingram Feliciani, yay, Frankenetti's, who let me enjoy her family as my own. And you gotta love somebody who asks you to be their maid of honor in the 8th grade, and I was, and pulled through. Gotta like people like Dale Hood, who was my first boyfriend, who still lends me support to this day. In my entire hockey team that I played with from my sophomore to my senior years, I had great role models in Marianne Harbaugh and Margie Fly and Janet Neese, and outstanding teammates like Barbara Campbell, Katie Anders, Betsy Grimley, Denise Prestia, Karen McKinney, and Sandy Duvin. And I got to acknowledge the team sports that I had, and I'm sure a lot of the inductees of the Hall of Champions can attest to this. This made me very competitive in business, because you have to learn to depend on people. Because I knew, playing center forward, which I guess dates me in field hockey terms these days, I knew that if I sent a pass down the alley, that Betsy Grimley would always get the pass and take it in. It's been a great and wonderful thing to play team sports, and I still encourage it for everybody now. Now, with all the love and recognition of this wonderful award, I would really like to dedicate it to my teachers, some of which are here tonight. Specifically, I would like to recognize Sarita Spadoni, who gave me an international perspective. She was my Spanish teacher, did a few trips to Spain with her, and even to this day, in the 10 to 12 countries that I've done international business with, I think of the way she opened up my mind and heart to the differences of different cultures. To Mrs. Antonelli, who I hope is here tonight. I haven't seen her yet, but I hope she's here. So I have to tell a story about Mrs. Antonelli that has really carried with me for the rest of my life. It was senior English, and I was hoping for a B one marks period, so you can see I didn't burn any real academic bridges when I was in high school. And the report cards came out, and I got a C. And I was kind of disappointed, so I thought, well, I think I'm going to go try and talk to her, because I thought I'd earned a lot better than a C that marks period. So we talked, and I approached her, and I said, Mrs. Antonelli, you know, I thought I was better than a C. And so she looks up the records, and lo and behold, the average by the numbers came out to be an 84.45. And I don't know what it is now, but 85 was a B, so I was right at the cutoff point. I said, oh, but Mrs. Antonelli, you know, I really had a lot of class participation. I will never forget, it was John Milton, Paradise Lost, Beelzebub. I always get that Crescent White and Trivial Pursuit. Don't you think that that would carry me over the top? And she looked and she said, well, let me think about it. And the next day, my grade was changed to a B. And I point this out because I've always learned through that experience that the approach of people, although I don't always remember to do it, the approach I learned in dealing with Mrs. Antonelli has gained me a lot of respect and a lot of things in the world I deal in today. Another person who has been on the spiritual side for me has been Judy Billman. Now, Judy, I didn't have Judy in high school. She was a speech teacher then, but we became friends in my senior year. She opened up a spiritual side and an inspirational side, and I can't tell you the amount of times and the money and the cards I bought down at the Catholic shop in DeKalb Street, sending it out to all my friends so they'd feel the inspiration as well. I got a chance to look Judy up about 3 years ago. We hadn't seen each other for 25 years, and we continued. The friendship just started again. She introduced me to the company that she's working for, Gap International, who introduced me to my executive coach. Now, I thought that, I left athletics in my sophomore year in college, that I wouldn't be in the world of coaching. Well, little was I was very wrong. I coach every single day of my life in my job, and it's good to have another coach to rely on. Which brings me to 3 people who had very profound effect of my life. And they are Bonnie Taylor, Carol Tompkins, and Sue Kidder. And these were my coaches in high school. And let me just tell you and share with you the standard that they introduced me to. Bonnie Taylor, I played field hockey, and she was an elite member of the U.S. team at that time. Carol Tompkins, who, by the way, rivals no one in her organizational skills, took my cousin's basketball team to the state championships in Pennsylvania. And Sue Kidder, a U.S. lacrosse team member. And I'm often asked, when I'm asked to speak at youth groups, why I didn't get into drugs or get into some things that would take me off my center. And this is a true story. The fact of the matter is, if I had gotten into drugs when I was in high school, if you remember the field hockey field next to the tennis courts at 80 Eisenhower High School, I would be still running around that field today out of punishment should I have fallen left of center with Bonnie. The fact of the matter is, Bonnie, Carol, and Sue, I always just want to be as good as you were and never disappoint you. In closing, I would like to say that I never had a great plan to leave the Norristown area. I'm a great product of the tri-borough area. Bridgeport, my grandfather had his first business. Conshohocken, my dad had a wonderful business. And my dad, who passed away in 1969, I wish he would have been here to see everything that our family has accomplished and gone through. And Norristown, who prepared me to be a good citizen of the world. Putting this all together, my family, friends, teachers, and coaches, and the Norristown area, you have shaped the fabric of my character. It has served me well, and I thank you. I thank you all very much.
Michael G. Costow, class of 1974, took his love for straight lines and rounded edges and became a nationally recognized architect with a legacy of accomplishments that will live on for a very long time. Our honoree is one of 2 principals who, in 1987, founded Capel & Costow, a New York City-based architectural firm. The company offers a full range of architectural interior design services, from project feasibility and planning through project management and construction administration. Since opening, the firm has completed some 300 projects representing millions of square feet of construction. His major architectural projects include HBO Studio Productions, the Lehman Maupin Gallery, Walden House, and the MTV Nickelodeon facility, all in New York City, and the Brooklyn Tabernacle in Brooklyn, New York. In addition, Capel & Costow can also take credit for the Procter & Gamble headquarters in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the Allstate Insurance Building in Pearl River, New York. Michael Costow's firm received the prestigious Certificate of Merit from the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission in 1994 for restoration work on 109 Prince Street in the city. He is a member of the American Institute of Architects and the National Council of Architectural Registration Boards. He has also served as a lecturer at Yale and Lehigh Universities. Following his studies at NHS, Michael graduated from Lehigh University and received his master's degree in architecture at Yale. While a student at Norristown, Michael was a member of the debating team, president of his homeroom, and was a member of the school band. Michael and his wife Carol, herself a graphic designer, reside in New York City with their 2 children, Max and Nora. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Kostow as our final inductee into the Norristown Area High School Hall of Fame.
Well, after that introduction, it's hard to feel like I have a lot to live up to. Well, as you can see, I've always been more of a visual person than a verbal one, so I think I'll keep my remarks brief. But I want to thank the Hall of Champions Association for including me with all of these terrific people. I mean, to be included in this group is truly a great honor. I want to thank all of my family and friends, many of whom are here tonight, for all the support and love and patience they've given me over the years, especially my wife Claire and my children Max and Nora. Thank you. And I want to thank my parents, Margaret and Mike, without whom none of this would have been possible. You know, they've really paved the way for any success that I've enjoyed by helping me shape my values and providing me with a great education and with all the love and encouragement that's necessary to build strong character and to be successful in life. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I really appreciate everything you've done for me, and I love you both. Thinking back on my days at Norristown, you know, I thought, boy, what one thing, you know, did I learn here that I could take with me in life? And I think, you know, after thinking about it for a while, it was really how to deal with people and the interaction with people that was a big thing here for me. And really people of a wide background, diversity, people of really different economic and social backgrounds. And I think what I learned is most important is really to deal with people with dignity and respect, regardless of where they've come from or where they've been. And this has always been important to me, and I think is largely responsible for my success. Anyway, thank you all, and I really appreciate the honor.
That was great. The band is under the direction of Scott Brown, and I think we should give them another round of applause for that. We also applauded tonight's honorees individually. I feel that now we should do them as a group. Let's give them another round of applause. After viewing tonight's program, you may wonder how you can help the Hall Champions Association. Well, if you look in the program booklet, there's a section in there as far as memberships. We will have a membership chairman in the cafeteria backstage if anybody would like to join the association. We also have forms if you would like to nominate candidates for the Hall Champions or Hall of Fame. Again, Bob Landis will be back there and he'll be able to help you for that. So before we adjourn to the cafeteria for refreshments and fellowships with the honored guests, I'd like to recognize the several individuals and groups who have contributed much to the program tonight. First, I want to thank Roy Zumo.